Welcome. We've been hearing this question a lot
Yes.
because we know right now we're all in kind of an economic limbo.
Yeah.
And the question is, how can I compete as a career relauncher or returner against all of the conventional, more qualified candidates that are going for the same jobs that I'm going for? And we want to help you answer that question today.
Well, in this current job market, that's a
Exactly.
big piece of it.
Exactly.
And this is something that is top of mind for many people because we just don't know how it is going to affect.
And that's the hardest part of the whole job search process is not of life.
Yes.
Right, is not knowing.
Yes, it's not knowing.
Right?
Is not knowing. Well, the first place you need to start is with thinking about the way you're speaking to yourself about it. Are you talking positively to yourself, or are you talking to yourself in a way that is allowing you to, give off the vibe of, I'm not confident and I don't believe in myself. And then maybe you're doing some hiding because it's like, why do I even want to spend my time and energy on something that really feels overwhelming and that it might not come to fruition for me? So one of the things that's really important is that when you have that negative thought that comes up in your mind, you have 5 seconds. The neuroscience research is showing us now that we are, well, as just a general rule, everyone, you are hardwired for negativity. We are fight or flight beings. And what that means is your brain is going to try to protect you and keep you safe, keep you small. But you can fight against that, those neural pathways, and push yourself into a more positive mindset, more positive state of coming at things that is going to propel you forward. If you take advantage of the 5 seconds when that negative thought comes up, that you combat it with a positive thought. So if it's, you know what, I can't match up to everybody else that's out there. Instead of saying that and telling yourself that, when it comes up, those 5 seconds happen, you say to yourself, I have a lot to offer the workforce. Just
something simple like that.
Just by doing that every single time, you're going to build those neural pathways in your brain that are going to be for positivity. And that is going to propel you forward and keep you from being stuck. And you have to practice this. This is not something you can do once. You have to do it many, many times because you're fighting against just our general makeup when we were born.
Mental gravity.
Yes. Yeah. So the next place is doing your homework. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think when the job market's tighter, you just need to work a little harder. And part of that is doing your homework. So making sure that your brand is well crafted and also well communicated, that your resume is really tight, that your LinkedIn profile is highly polished, that you're using it to connect with people, that you have practiced your elevator pitch. What are you going to say when you run into someone, either socially or on an elevator, and you might want to talk to them about the kind of work you want to do? What are you going to say in an interview? So when the labor market is tight, which is where we were 6 months ago, who knew? It was the bar was lower. Employers really needed people, and they might have been cutting corners on some of those things, but not so now. I actually think it's better if you start your search when the job market is tight, because you really have to do it right. If you start out, like for the kids who graduated a year ago that were, they had their pick because there was so much demand for people, they didn't really learn how to do it right. So the beauty of coming into this relaunch market, if this is your time, is that you kind of have to do it right. And that's all that doing your homework.
Our LinkedIn Lab course is a great way to help you with, putting your best foot forward. And also knowing how to network. And I'm pretty sure that we have an extra freebie that's in there when you sign up about the elevator.
Yeah, we have I think we do. We have something in there. There's lots of free stuff. We've put a lot of free stuff out there because this is our expertise. And this for us it's a job, but it's really a passion. All
right. So focus on your superpower. That's the next important thing to focus on. So what is that?
Well, I think by virtue of even asking yourself this question, how am I going to compete against these other people that don't have any gap on their resume and have complete
but you're no longer saying that to yourself.
Continuity, right. So think about what you do well. It's just turning the lens. And we say this to our kids. You don't worry about how many goals this person scores or how many at-bats that person gets. Worry about what you can control. And when we start panicking, we start focusing outward. We want you to focus inward. What am I doing? What do I do really well? What is my superpower? And sometimes we just saw this on a call today with our military spouses. Your superpower is actually what you think is your liability.
Absolutely.
And in this particular case, this is someone who has moved 14 times and on sometimes, 2 weeks of notice across the globe and does it like that. Well, boy, that's a high level of agility, of
Mhm.
resourcefulness, of calm under pressure, all of those things that every employer needs.
Yeah.
So focus on what you bring to the table, not what someone else might have, maybe that you don't.
Right.
Because you don't know what your competitors have. You know what you have.
Right. Stay in your lane, be
Mhm.
who you are, and focus on that.
Exactly.
Highlight those things.
Yeah.
Okay. So apply more broadly. That's another thing that you need to be
Mhm.
doing in this kind of market.
Yeah, so it's a numbers game. Getting a job is always a numbers game, but your numbers could be lower last year because again, the demand for people was so much greater. So you could maybe have 5 irons in the fire. I've got this one, I'm interviewing here, I'm close to the final interview here. I just started networking with that person, and that could be enough.
Right.
That's not the case. Anytime things tighten up, you just need to have more irons in the fire because you might be the top candidate, you might make it all the way to the last interview, and then there's hiring freeze.
Yep.
And we actually had a client recently who made it all the way to the offer.
Right.
And then the offer had to be rescinded because the day after the offer was made, the company shut down hiring. So having more irons in the fire, using that metaphor, more opportunities that you're working on just makes it less risky if one of them should fall through.
Right. It's also really important to consider how you're applying.
Yes,
You know,
and that's a difference.
Yes, because we can use the online, all of the online job boards,
Mhm.
or there's other methods. So why don't you
Right.
talk about that a little bit?
Well, first of all, we all know, or we know,
Mhm.
that when a job is posted online, there's a 1 in 4 chance that it's actually a real job that's going to be filled.
Right.
And there are a variety of other reasons that jobs are posted that we don't
Yes,
have time
did
to
you
get
hear
into
that?
today.
There's a 1
Yeah.
in 4 chance that it's even a real job when you.
And I would say in a tighter job market, maybe even less of a chance because there are other reasons that people
And
post
when
jobs.
you say real job, what do you mean by that? Because a company wouldn't, pay to post a
Right.
job on there. Like, what is?
Well, I mean, we have to post jobs just to comply with EEO regulations.
Okay.
So, I mean, it happens all the time. We'd have a person already that we knew was going to fill the job, but we still have to post it.
Yeah.
And go through the motions.
Okay.
Or now you'll see this more, companies want to look like they're doing well.
Mhm.
So they might post a few jobs because what better way to look like you're performing well than to have jobs that are
Out
open.
there. Yeah.
Another thing, optimistic hiring managers might say, you know what, I think we're going to land this account in December, and I think the hiring freeze is going to lift in March. So I'm going to post these jobs now.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping
Mhm.
that I'm going to have the opportunity to fill them in March. So there are a lot of different reasons that people apply online. But the other thing is that even in the best of times,
Right.
only about 20% of US workers, professional workers, got their jobs by strictly applying online.
Mhm.
The odds are way against you because it's too easy to do. So, if I can apply with one button,
Right.
50 places, even
Right.
though really only 10 of them are interesting to me,
Right.
or that I'm qualified for, I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
So there's just the numbers are so they're just so daunting, and they
Yeah.
really don't work in your favor. So the better way to apply is through human contact, through connecting with a company, connecting with a recruiter, networking. So I might see a job online that I really like and I'm well qualified for, and I can apply, but I need to make sure I'm backing it up by calling my friend Kelley to say,
Right.
I want to let you know I just applied for this job. I think I'm a really good candidate. Would you feel comfortable letting HR know that you know me?
Mhm.
Or if I don't know Kelley, but I network with her because we went to the same university, and I say to her, look, I just applied to your company.
Mhm.
Would you be free for a 10-minute call so I can tell you about myself, and maybe you could promote me to your hiring manager?
Right.
And in many cases, fewer now than when the job market was really, really robust, but still probably 50 or 60% of the
Mhm.
cases, Kelley gets a payback
Right.
from her employer by referring me.
Right.
So just remember that sometimes there's something really beneficial to the person you're asking for help.
Yeah. There's no better way when jobs are scarce
Mhm.
than that human to human
Mhm.
contact.
Mhm.
All right. And the last one is to take care of yourself. It is hard navigating the whole job hiring,
Putting yourself
process,
out there, getting rejected,
interviewing, all
getting
of that,
ghosted.
networking. Yes, all of those things are exhausting. And if you are not taking care of yourself, if you are just, getting a rejection and then saying to yourself, well, I'm going to, now I'm going to tweak this on my resume, or I'm going to,
Right.
put myself out there again, without taking care of yourself first, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Mhm.
We need to take care of ourselves so we can put the best foot forward. And in order to do that, you have to slow yourself down after you've experienced a rejection. We're human beings.
Mhm.
It's not fun. And give yourself the time and space to go do something good for yourself that's going to fill you up. If that's just even for a walk outside in nature, or if that's hugging your dog, it doesn't matter. This is hard work that you're doing, and it's not something that you should just keep plowing through. You need to take care of yourself.
And you know, as a hiring manager, you're going to present better to me if you've taken that walk hugging your dog.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So we actually have a freebie for you today. It's called our LinkedIn checklist. It is a way that you can make sure you are putting your best foot forward on LinkedIn, and just see if your LinkedIn profile matches up to what it is that hiring managers are looking for.
So that it'll make sure that you are showing up in searches, but also that when I, as a hiring manager, check you out, I'm interested enough that I want to continue reading.
Yes.
And if you like what you heard today, we put out new content every Monday. So please join us. Please subscribe so you'll know when we put out new content. And if you like what you see, you can also check us out at our website, www.preparetoLaunchU.com.